Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys this week, and I know I usually say it's exciting, but this time it's actually pretty special because this is something that I have never actually seen before. So that's why it's gonna be interesting. And I did reach out to one person, a professional in the industry, who also has never seen a tea quite like this before. So I am super excited. Hey Snail, welcome. I am super excited to show you this kind of tea because this is a first for me. Hey Ma, welcome. This is a first for me, and well, you'll see what makes this special in just a moment. But let's talk about the title of it. Today's tea is Taiping Hu Kui. And this one is quite interesting. It's a Japanese green tea. And I don't know exactly how they did this. Hey, Pops, welcome. But this is actually a hand-pressed Japanese green tea. And it was a little bit confusing, and I'll show you why in just a moment. But I'm just gonna show you guys. Now, normally it's hard for for you guys to see the tea. Well, this time around, I don't think that will be a problem. This is quite a big leaf. This one looks like it's 2 leaves pressed together. I don't even want to tear them apart. They just look so interesting. And I also had a little bit of confusion as to how much to steep, because normally it would say, just put in a teaspoon. But since these leaves are so big, they're not gonna be on a teaspoon, and there's no directions as to how many leaves to put in there. So I'm starting off with about 5 or 6, and you can see even after it's steeped, it's just one big clump. Let me see if I can kind of separate gently without causing too much damage. We see there's very little change in the overall shape because when it's pressed open already. So usually you look for the tea leaf to open up. This one, there's no leaf to open up. It's already pretty open. It's like peeling apart little slices of bacon. I love it. Let me see. I mean, there is room to kind of pull it apart. This is so interesting because let me see if I can find one more that's more whole, I guess. Because it looks like it's not just hand pressed, but it's kind of folded over and pressed. So when it's opened, it's just kind of flat. What I also find interesting is that it looks like it was purposefully flattened 2 or 3 leaves together, because I can't seem to find just one leaf. And this compared to this, you can see this one is a lot more wide. I kind of I kind of get the feeling that this is gonna be like a seaweed flavor to it. That's what normally Japanese green teas taste like. I'm not sure what to expect from this one. I mean, I know what to expect, but from the scent, it's very, very. The tea looks like umami. I mean, if umami had a look to it, yeah, that would be it. It would be a big, bright green. It reminds me of those seaweed snacks. You just pull out a little thing of seaweed and chomp on it. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but that's just my what's the word? That's just my what's the word? I don't want to say like a prejudice, but that's just by looking at it, that's what I'm thinking. So without further ado, let's take a look at this liquor. Look at how light it is. You can see right through it, no problem. It's just so clear. That might be because I might have put less tea in there than what's required. Again, I had no idea how many to put in here. So it might be a little bit light. But it did steep. I will have some flavor in this. But it looks super clear already, and it looks good for a Japanese. What I'm looking for in the liqueur altogether is something that is clear, not too see-through, not too transparent, but enough to have like some flavoring in it. And you can tell in comparison to my shirt, there is some coloration. So you'll have like a light green, yellow kind of liqueur. Salty, like what you would expect from a Japanese green tea. It's very, very light though. It's very interesting. I'm searching for a scent, and it's there. It's not your typical salty seawater green tea, but it's kind of just like, smells a little peachy, a little bit silky. I'm just hoping that I steeped the right amount, Okay, yeah, I'm getting a stronger scent. I have to look for it, but it's there. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a very light scent. It's hard to find, but it's definitely there. Okay. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take my first sip. Ooh, that is really, really nice. It's kind of like a little bit seaweed and a little bit of silver needle. It looks like water. Oh, it does look like water, but I mean, like you can see in comparison to my shirt, it's not completely clear. So there is a concentration of flavor in there. There's a silky texture to it that's also very similar to silver needle. Now there is a kind of saltiness to it that is it's present. It's not very strong, but it's sweet. It's unexpectedly sweet. That's something I have to say, because I've had sencha, I've had bancha, and I've had to be like on the saltier sides. It's usually it's a milky, creamy, but overall it's like it's kind of salty. This one, the salt kind of takes a back seat to it. And there's a soft, silky mouthfeel to this. It kind of sits on your tongue and coats it slightly. It's barely there. It's like the silk hairs on like a fabric or a cotton kind of a thing, like very, very fine, and it sits on your tongue. It's velvety. That's I think that's a very accurate way of saying it. Ooh, this is really good. Very delicate. And as I drink more, the flavor is concentrating, and I'm tasting more like a peach or an apricot kind of flavoring to it. Very sweet. Has an overall rock fruit kind of quality to it. I'm really impressed. I've never seen a tea like this before. Usually when Japanese teas are created, they steam it for about 15 seconds at a time, off and on, off and on. And I guess in that process it gets smaller and smaller. But now I'm curious how they keep it so big. They say it's hand pressed, but like I don't understand how you could hand press it in a way so that it keeps this really big, wide look to it. All the Japanese green tea that I've seen, they're about yay big. You know, it's about maybe half an inch tall to half an inch to an inch, and it's really compact. So it's very thin, very stick-like. This one is just wide. They must, like, I'm assuming they take the more mature leaves that have more width to them, and then they press that. That's what I'm guessing. Like, I really, had I known that this was going to be this different of a tea that I usually test, I would have done a little bit more research. I hope it's not a trade secret, because I'm very much interested in how they pull this off. I'm assuming that, you know, they do the steaming 15 seconds at a time, but less frequency, maybe. But I don't know how the bottom part here and like off to the side is like a light green, yellow kind of color to it, and that part is practically see-through. Like I can look through this using one eye. I can see the shadow of my finger. I can see the light from the phone coming right through it. So it's super duper thin. I'm thinking possibly thinner than paper. It's probably around the same thickness as like a piece of tissue paper. The kind of craft paper that you use to like stuff gift bags and stuff like that. So it's definitely interesting how they keep it like that. All in one particular leaf. And you can see even in the steeped leaf, there's parts that are concentrated that are still folded, and they're pretty much opaque. But then you have pieces up here that are like on the light green yellows kind of spectrum, and so that's definitely been folded over. I'm very much interested in watching this kind of process. It's just something that blows me away. I'm definitely not used to it. I'm really liking the flavor of this. It's kind of like chewing on apple, but like the actual skin. How do you even make this tea? I have no idea. How do I brew it? That's something that I can talk about because I actually did it. How they make it, I have no idea. But what I did was usually Japanese green teas. is there any Camellia sinensis in it? It's all Camellia sinensis. This is actually, because it's coming out of Japan, it's the sinensis variant. The one with the one that's more adapted to the cooler temperatures and like more moisture in the air. So it's kind of like it's the more relaxed version of Camellia sinensis, and so it absorbs all that light. It doesn't look like this has been shaded. Normally, when you shade like a Gyokuro, it would be a darker green because it has to produce more chlorophyll for photosynthesis. It struggles to get the light. So this one, it looks like it's grown out in the sunshine a little bit. Actually, not a little bit, a lot. And it's getting as much as it needs. And then it gets hand pressed. Now, normally when you steep a Japanese green tea versus a Chinese green tea, you want to go on the lighter side. So I wound up setting this instead of 180, I did it about 165. Then I steeped it for 2 minutes and hoped for the best. Because, like I said, I didn't know if I was putting enough in there. And I guess I did right, about 5 or 6 leaves, because it tastes really, really nice. And I just love the way that it culminates into that. Like I feel like it's concentrating a little bit now that I drank some. So the flavor is concentrating a bit more in the room that's left. So I'm getting more of a creaminess to it. I might as well do the Thomas taste now, because if I keep talking about the processing, I'll lose my my place. But let's do the Thomas taste. But is there any seaweed saltiness to this? Very, very little. Like I said, it's more akin to Silver Needle. It's got more of a milky creaminess to it than a seaweed saltiness to it that it would normally have. And that's kind of what I was expecting more, to be a little bit salty, but actually, not really. So let's see if I can find anything new in the Thomas taste. Okay. So like I said, doing the Thomas taste, I'm getting a more intense flavoring of like that creaminess, the milkiness that you get from a Silver Needle, but the saltiness is more concentrated as I breathe. It's kind of like I'm having two separate tastes, one on my tongue and one around my tongue. Like on my tongue, I taste like the sweetness, the milkiness, the soft silk. But around my breath, I have like the saltiness, the apricot, rock fruit kind of a flavoring. This tea looks watered down. It's not actually. You wouldn't put milk in it. I wouldn't. I think that it's great the way it is. And milk would just pollute it a little bit. And traditionally, normally you don't put milk in like green tea. You could. I mean, if you make a matcha latte, that's exactly what it is. It's just green tea powder with milk. So you can do it, but I just feel like it would pollute it at this point. Giving it a kind of mask that I wouldn't really want to mess with this. Normally, if you're gonna drink something like an English breakfast, or just like a general black tea, something that can uphold a milky flavor, and it'll bring down the boldness. This is not very bold at all. So if you add milk to it, you'd be missing out on the nuances of the flavors. Oh, but this is so good. Like, this is the first Japanese green tea that is so closely related to a white tea, I'm kind of wondering how well it'll stand up to a second steep. I mean, being how delicate it is, I don't know. That's something that I'm going to have to just do one of these days as an experiment. Normally I don't double steep green teas because they tend to get astringent pretty easily. So I just don't try altogether. But if I can double steep this with, say, just a cooler temperature, maybe around 150, it'll barely get any flavor. Maybe around 165 I'll keep it and just try it. And hopefully it won't get too bitter. I don't foresee this getting too bitter because just the experience that I'm having right now is excellent. My mind is a little bit blown, actually. I'm not gonna lie. But otherwise, I don't know. This experience is really sticking with me. I've been doing this for about 11, almost 11 years now, and the tea world is still full of surprises. I can't call myself a tea master because I'm still learning so much. I am mistaken. This is not a Japanese green tea. This is actually a Chinese green from the Anhui province. You learn something new every day, and it's right on the package too. I should I knew I saw it, but this is I guess a Chinese take on a Japanese green. Now this is questioning everything I believed because if it was okay, so if this was hand pressed, Chinese way wouldn't be steamed. It would be kind of roasted or, I can't say that it was probably pan fried. It was probably pan fried. Because if you put it in a wok, that explains the lack of saltiness. Yeah, exactly. My impressions were completely off, and like I said, this has taken me by surprise. Maybe it's hand pressed and then pan fried. I don't think that they would put this in the oven, because otherwise you'd get a hojicha smoked flavoring to it. Yeah, this is. I'm a little bit stumped. I gotta say, this is something that it's a mystery. I might have to reach out. This is an Adagio tea, by the way. This is from their Masters collection, and maybe I could reach out and see, just for my own edification, what it is that they do to this tea to make it so delicate but flavorful. My best guess is they just pan fry it. Maybe they have a press, or no. But if you press it, that gives it the opportunity to stick to two sides, and I don't know. That might be a little. Wow, the wheels are turning. I don't know, man. This is interesting. I'm stumped. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about this. Oh well. That being said, I'm gonna open up the floor. Questions or comments or anything you want to talk about. Now is the time. I will go ahead and answer the question that I always answer first. What food would I pair this with? This is going to be another hard one. I need inspiration here. I'm stuck between two flavors. Like, it's neither sweet nor savory. It's slightly salty. It rides a fine line. I would say keep it light. Mochi, yeah, mochi would be nice because it's got that sweet flavoring, and whatever fruit you decide would pair well with this, because it's not like a hard flavor. You know, like it's not it's hard to define. So I'm gonna say, yeah, mochi would be good because it has a nice platform to lay on. Maybe as I could see a roasted chicken dish on this, with a little bit smoky, but not too much, not too heavy. Or how about something like a This is very difficult. How do I? It's really hard for me to figure. Maybe like a stroopwafel or something sweet, a light cake, some crackers, some wafers, something like that would go well with it. Maybe an ice cream. I can see an ice cream with this. Or a chicken noodle soup. If you're really sick, chicken noodle soup and tea. That'll get you back on your feet in no time. Oh, this is so good. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, announcements. I do have one announcement. It's gonna be a rolling announcement, really. As mentioned last week, I am on the committee to plan the next Chicago Tea Festival, and so we had a meeting this morning, and it went pretty well. I will be handling some of the social media aspects, some of the marketing, advertising, just like putting our name out there, arranging some stuff. This is something that I have been wanting to do for some time. And things are rolling along well. So we're looking at a prospective date of April 12th, I believe. Let me double check. It is in April. April. Well, technically load-in would be the 12th, and the show would be the 13th and the 14th. So that being said, it's gonna be a good experience. I'm really looking forward to it. And for those of you in the Chicago area, you're all invited. We will be getting the details of it pretty soon. And as I learn these things, I'll pass on the information to you guys. You have the inside scoop, because not everybody is advertising this yet. I'm just giving a little behind the scenes sneak peek. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. This has been a mind-blowing experience. If you'd like to give it a try for yourself, I will be including the link in the description So you guys can check it out for yourself, and I highly recommend it. This is a really good experience. So until next time, have a great week, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.